This is going to be Brimstone Aurochs Ultimate Guide in Call of Dragons. We're going to talk about the new infantry pet in the game, and you may already be using one of the strongest infantry pets in Call of Dragons and still losing fights you should be winning, because this pet is not only about the damage. It's parry, counterattack and pressure control. And if you don't understand that, you're throwing away free wins. We're going to talk about with which heroes this pet is going to work the best. We're going to talk about which spells is going to be good for this pet. And to be fair, I have played Call of Dragons over 1000 days testing infantry mages and PvP builds. I'm actually not like 100% sure. It's like 1000 days is even more, to be fair. It's going to be 1097 days playing Call of Dragons. So I can definitely say that pets is the second nature of this channel. And today I'm going to break down the Brimstone Aurochs the right way. Now, for me personally, I try to catch this pet. I actually catch it, but some other people invest way more and they provide me with reports where I can gather this valuable information that I can give you in this video. And boy oh boy, now why should you care in general? Because if you're an infantry player, and I believe every person in Call of Dragons is infantry player to some degree, because you can be a mage main, but at least one infantry march you should have it. You can be marksman main, at least one infantry. You can be cavalry one, at least one infantry. And you want to survive longer to deal more damage when being hit and punish aggressive players. But here is the problem. Most players treat it like this is just a normal damaging pet, and that's when everything goes wrong. And to be fair, this pet can open an artifact for you. We're going to talk about this later in the game, how you can get crazy benefits from this pet, helping you in additional effects of an artifact. So let's start with the hidden mechanics that make it so broken. Let's start from there. Is every successful... Okay, I'm going to just point the spell. And this is every successful parry triggers an extra damage, and it can trigger every second. That means more enemies, more triggers, more hits, more damage. And the funny part with the parry is you're receiving 0 damage when you do a parry. So basically this pet is giving you 5% chance to receive 0 damage. If you're with Joren, is going to be way more, but 5% to receive 0 damage, and at the same time to continue doing counterattack, because this is not affecting the counterattack. So again, more enemies, more triggers, more hits, more damage at the end of the day. But here is the problem. If your hero doesn't support parry or counterattack, you lose most of your value, and this is why hero pairing matters the most. It's obviously when you pair 2 heroes, from there you can decide which pet and which artifact you want to go, and they're best fitting. And Brimstone Aurochs is one of the new pets with the 2 new infantry heroes. So I think some people start understanding which is going to be the best pairing, but here's the top 3 hero pairings for this pet. And yeah, the first place is going to be Joren. I don't think I have to go that much in deep why the Joren is on the first place, but long story short is when fighting Giants fighter mark for 3 seconds, increase the Legion parry chance by 50% and max parry per second by 10. So per second 10 parry, and right now his parry chance with this pet is going to get increased to 55, and it's going to be max parry per second is going to be 11. So you have increased the chance to parry, you have increased the targets that can get parry for you. And Joren is just the perfect match. Well, the question why? Because it's already scales from being attacked, and this pet benefit by a lot from this to get attacked at the end of the day. So with Joren, I think is going to be absolutely perfect. When an enemy hit Joren, he get power, he increase damage, he builds stacks. And now at Brimstone Aurochs, well, the things is get massive parry chance, is increasing with 5%. It's different from 5% to go to 10%, and it's different from 50% to go to 55%. On top of that, this pet is benefiting from the parries. After a successful parry, and keep in mind with Joren, you're going to get a lot of successful parries, deals extra physical damage to the target legion, damage factor, some damage factors. And believe it or not, it's getting wild, because if you get also advanced blow damage doing bonus, you're going to see some crazy results. And this is just with Joren. Now I'm going to give you Joren with Ellanir, some reports right now. But yeah, with this pet, you're just going to get tons of damage. And here's a scenario. You jump into a fight, enemy sees you, focus you, they think you're an easy target, but instead they become the most annoying march on the battlefield. And yeah, why Joren plus Aurochs is meta, to be fair, especially for open field. I think Kuma Joren with Aurochs is going to be the meta for the infantry. Is Joren punish being attacked and Aurochs punish with parry, and Kuma is draining HP, and all of them have to be in the melee range to perform the best. If you get, yeah, I'm not going to go that much in deep about the artifacts and pairing. I have other video for Joren. I'm going to have video for Ellanir where I go really in deep for these heroes. So the next hero for the pairing is going to be Ellanir. Now the Ellanir is actually from different stuffs. I decided to actually pick her. And Ellanir is what Ellanir is about: counterattack damage, passive damage triggers, and scaling over time. If you watch my videos, you're going to know that this hero Ellanir is scaling over time. Now combine it with Aurochs, you're going to receive every parry more counterattack damage. Since Ellanir is boosting the counterattack, every parry is more counterattack, every hit more passive triggers. And yeah, even though that Ellanir is not having like 50% parry like Joren is having, still the pet is going to provide you with 5%. And if you have like 5% chance to receive 0 damage, oh, that's amazing, to be fair. Now about combining with Aurochs, again, you're going to get parry, but at the same time you're going to continue doing counterattack, and every hit is more passive triggers. And here's a real scenario. You're in the crowded fight, enemy are attacking from all sides, Ellanir keeps triggering damage, Aurochs keeps triggering damage, and suddenly you're dealing damage without even attacking, and this is where everything changes. You become damage machine, where just standing there. And why Ellanir works so well is time of fight, numbers of hit, and counter cycles. This is everything that Ellanir is skills with, and also the pet is benefiting. And Aurochs give her, what the Aurochs is giving her, more triggers, more uptime, and more pressure at the end of the day. And here I'm going to present you with some reports that I'm currently having. This is actually not with this pet, if I remember right. It should not be with the pet. Oh no, it's actually Brimstone Aurochs, by the way. And as you can see, the reports are very nice. 50k, 103k, and this is open field fights. This is the Legion buff. Joren is not even awakened. Ellanir is actually awakened, and Brimstone Aurochs is having like, it's having just 1 star. The main spell is like 1 star, so you can imagine how much this thing can scale up on the next level on 2 star and the 3 star. It's getting the counterattack, is getting the damage, and is getting again the critical rate that I think make this pet absolutely wild. So this is like 150k, 103k. Going further is 47k, 108k, absolutely the same pet. Here is like 57, 130, as you can see, and again it's actually still the same pet. This pet is working brutally good. And maybe I can actually go look at this thing against Madeline and Garwood. This is Bertrand with Mink, and look at this thing, Bertrand with Mink, and Mink is absolutely crazy hero. If we check it out, we're having Dragon Fate Example 1 level 5, which is absolutely brutal, and we have a Flaming Manticore. Now, from the statistic, Joren didn't even do damage here. Ellanir has done 9.9k, so this is not actually a melee fight, this is a range fight, because other way Joren was going to do some damage, and the pet is actually do some extra damage. Absolutely wild. And maybe, yeah, here is one more fight. I can give you 57k, 105, 67k war pet has done, 27k is the enemy war pet has done it. And maybe about this 54k report, 78k is the pet, 26k is the enemy's pet. Now here we have one more bad boy, Sakamoto, where he actually presents his pet that he's using. To be fair, he told me that he have used some fruits, and oh my god, this is a different topic in Cow Dragons, but I have not seen Catchet pet, 2-star pet from very long time. My regenerations are very bad, and I feel hopeless, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Now here, the Strange and the Endurance are very nice. As you can see, this level 1 spell. 75% chance to do physical damage when Legions hit by Wall Off. And this is basically from this spell. This is his pet. Now, this is his report. And as you can see on the battle summary, 78,000 war pet damage, over 13k from the enemy side. Other report is maybe this one. As you can see, 83k war pet, 10k on the enemy side is the damage that the enemy has done. And here we have like 90k, is close to the amount of damage the heroes has done, and the enemy is like 16k. And here we're having like 245k counter attack damage. So you can clearly see this pet, how good actually is this pet. And on the 3rd place, I can actually say about the Goresh. Now, Goresh is different. He spread damage. When he counterattack, he hit multiple enemies and he create kills. Now, Brimstone Aurochs is a pet that benefit a lot from the kills. I'm not quite sure I actually have something like this type of... I think maybe I have here. No, this is with Kuma. What else? Yeah, this is actually Goresh with Ellanir, but I'm not quite sure about the pet. Is the pet the one? No, this is actually Venom Lizard. Well, I actually gathered a lot of information from the players who actually get this pet, and believe it or not, this pet end up to be very solid, amazing pet. And with Goresh, as I already mentioned, where is our Goresh? He's doing some extra damage when Legion launches counterattack. They have 50% chance to deal additional damage, up to 5 surrounding legions. Each additional target reduce damage taken, blah blah blah. This is extra from the Goresh in form of AoE. And yeah, Goresh is the best one to create kills on the battlefield. Now the Aurochs is going to give him more parries, basically 5% more parries, more counter triggers, and more AoE damage. So yeah, you're in the big war, 5 enemy marches around you, Goresh starts spreading damage everywhere, and this is the part nobody talk about. They are damaging multiple players just being attacked, and I think this is the main power of Mosrock. Yeah, not Mosrock, Auroch. Brimstone Aurochs. It's like the Manticore, but for infantry is Aurochs. But anyway, why Goresh is underrated with this pet, I want to say this thing is more enemy, more value, more hits, more triggers, and more kills, more damage. This is where the Goresh benefit, and this pet is also benefiting from there. But here's something that will completely change how you see this pet. Most players think this pet is defensive. Well, he's not. And yeah, honestly, every time we talk about the pets, people are thinking, oh, infantry pet should be a defensive one, should be something that make your legion tanky. Yeah, it's going to be nice if it make it the legion tanky, but if you check it out, almost all of the infantry pets is actually aggressive one. It's actually aggressive one. So Brimstone Auroch is not making exception. It's actually an offensive punishing system when you put this hero, this pet there. And if you build him wrong, you lose basically everything. Now let's talk about the best spells from a Brimstone Auroch. And here is the spells I can show you. So far, I actually agree to a big extent with Sakamoto with his way of building the pet. Obviously, we want to have the talent skill of this pet. And the second spell is going to be this intense blow off, 75% chance to deal physical damage to the enemy legions hit by blow off. So 75% is a very solid one. Here we're going over 130, something like this. 134 determined by endurance, and he's having good endurance, but still endurance and strength and agility is the three very solid attributes that the pet can have. The other thing is counter strike. I really like this one just because, and as you can see from the kills, and maybe we're going to get one fight here. Maybe which one I'm going to give you. Yeah, let's go over the statistic. Now here is the pet didn't do that much, but from the counterattack is also going to get some good damage. I wonder, is there some big fight that is happening here that I can actually show more about the counterattack? But still, I'm actually using counterattack on my pet, so yeah. So far we don't see counterattack here, but yeah, when your legion is hit with normal attack, they have 50% chance to deal damage to the target. Counterattack damage is not that much. Now you have also intense counterattack, but I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's going to be good also to have intense counterattack. Now here we have the boost for the pet physical damage. This is very nice. It's close like 20%. I completely agree with this one. Critical damage for sure. You want to have as much critical damage as you can. So it's like 65% where the war pet deals physical damage. As you can see here, by the way, I don't know if you can actually see, but is Legion deals extra physical damage. It's important this, so you don't make some wrong stuffs. But this pet is doing physical damage. Now, 65% more critical damage. This is also very good. And this two, that is giving critical rate. Here you have like 23, here you have like 22, 45%. So every two spells, one of the spells is going to be a critical strike. So this is, for me, one of the main reasons you're seeing that crazy reports where the pet is doing like 78k compared to the enemy pet that is doing like 13k. I mean, and this is not just isolated case, it's basically always like this. 90k war pet damage, 16k on the enemy side. So from point of spells about the Brimstone Aurochs, I strongly believe this is very nice. Now here I can actually put maybe intense counterattack if I have like 8 swords, or fear strike, or what was the name? Just 1 second, I forgot the name of this spell. It's actually, yeah, fierce attack. This one is also very solid one. So either you have to decide which one you want to go. It's going to be at counterattack for the open field, or you want to have fierce attack. This is more like rally related build. Fierce attack is for rally related build, and here if you have advanced fierce attack, damage do a bonus like 17 and etc. But still, one of these two builds is going to be the way to go with this pet. So yeah, guys, this is going to be for this video and this Brimstone Aurochs ultimate guide in Call of Giants. This is the reports I show you, this is the build I show you. If you have any questions related to this pet, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to try to answer everything. So far, I wish you great day. And yeah, here I'm going to put one video, it can be interesting for you. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.